office work today. Welcome to the Japanese printmaking office stream. Sorry about this. Another non-production day today. Are we still calling these New Year's cards? I don't know. Didn't you see this sometimes? You've seen it before and you're going to see it again. We've got about 600 still to go. And most of them are printed now. We've got about, I think about 480 are finished printing, I think. I'm not sure exactly. Just because I was keeping track of them. We've got another 120 or 150 still to print. But I've got about a few hundred here still to mail out. So. It's just taking a back seat recently to the other work. And even today, we won't be doing this for very long. I'm going to do this morning during the stream, and then we've got today 1, 2, 3, 4 print parties, and it's just me and Kawaii-san. So single-handedly, we're going to try and run the shop and do 4 print parties, which are full of people: 5 people, 4 people, 3 people. Is the paper out? Yes, the paper is out. Thank you again for the reminder. Very much appreciated, because I do sometimes forget. The paper is indeed out. There's 2 packages out today. Today's Sunday morning, so there's only one printer here. It's Ishikawa-san, and she's upstairs printing more of these. That's what she'll be doing today. And she's also doing test printing on the 2nd print of this year's subscription series. And we're struggling with the blues on that one. Some of you saw a test of this. Jed, I think, posted it on Instagram a while ago. The 2nd design in this year's series. And we're struggling with the blues. What kind of blue to use? Because when Jed chooses colors and tones and things for these prints, he doesn't have access to our pigment drawer. He doesn't know what we've got in terms of physical pigments. He's just working in Photoshop with a color wheel, and it's basically not infinite, but close enough to be infinite, the number of colors. And he sometimes clicks and selects colors that we actually can't make with our selection of pigments. And that's the case with this, with the snow scene, the blue snow scene. So we're wrestling with it. We've got to wrestle with the blue on the snow and the blue in the sky. And Ishikawa-san really had trouble yesterday, trying to get it to work well. So. The label sheets here are in alphabetical order, but to avoid having a situation where everybody with the letter A gets their New Year's card first, I'm just grabbing a few from each page and running down and running down and running down. I'll keep going through and cycling through. So. Yeah, sending Jed color swatches. I guess it might help a bit. I'm not really quite sure. I don't know. He doesn't really want to be too much constrained by that sort of stuff, which I understand, of course. You know. The other thing too is the color thing. It's not really a problem when you talk about the blended colors and the mixed colors. If we're trying to make a purple, for example, now we've got 2 or 3 basic kinds of blues. We've got the indigo blue, the Prussian blue, the gunjo, something like ultramarine. So we've got a bunch of basic blues. And we've got a couple of different reds and one yellow, and we've got black. So when it comes down to a purple or something, sending Jed our swatches wouldn't mean anything, because we can mix pretty much any kind of purple or any kind of green, given the basics that we have. What we can't do is when he uses colors right on the outside of the Photoshop color wheel, a sort of, quote, pure blue. That we can't do. If we've only got indigo and Prussian blue and ultramarine, there's the blue that he's chosen for the snow on this one, we can't mix from that group. So we can't move outward on the color wheel. We can only move inward, if you get what I mean. The blues we have aren't a Photoshop type pure blue. They're inwards on the wheel. They're already mixed with something else to make indigo. Indigo isn't indigo. It's got a whole bunch of black in it, if you're trying to think about it in terms of what it is with blue. So anything inside the wheel is okay. So giving Jed our swatches doesn't really help in terms of what blue or what warm or what cool colors he wants to use. The problem only really comes when he uses a really pure color himself, a real basic blue. That's what's happened on the snow print. The mic is right here. Is it too far away from me? I can move it in a bit closer. It's right there. It's about the same distance it normally is. I can put it on here. Let's do this. Let's bring in this thing here and clip it on the edge of that. Is that better? No idea. The room is pretty echoey, so I thought it wouldn't be a problem. Testing, testing. This is the microphone. There's 2 lists. This is the list that comes from our own software. People who are our subscribers, who have bought lots of prints this year or something like that, or people we've known for a long time, people we need to send a card to. And then there's another list, which is the people who are in Patreon. And we can't easily actually merge these lists in terms of printing out the labels, because we don't have a common ID. Lots of people don't use their real name on the Patreon list, and the addresses are in different formats, so there's no way I can easily combine the mailing lists. So what we've done is we've printed out the Patreon labels, alphabetical order by the last name, and we've printed out our own labels. That's for today. Hang on a sec, let me see what it is. I thought we were totally full up today. It must be room for 1 or 2 more people here. Let's see. Yeah, 1 person's joining into the 2:30. That's going to be a funny session. It's a Japanese person jumping in. Yeah, but the color swatch idea for Jed isn't a bad idea. You know, those, like I said, those 3 blues that we use, if Jed had a swatch of those, it would help, I guess. It's something we should need to think about getting organized with. And actually, we've already got that information. I've got a couple of books here, books about traditional Japanese pigments. And it's meant for people like Photoshop designers and stuff to use. So it's got all the RGB codes and CMYK codes that fit fairly reasonably close to the traditional pigments. So I should send Jed that info. In the 2:30 party now, there's two Westerners and a Japanese person. Was it yesterday afternoon or the day before? Did I mention this yesterday? I can't remember. I think it was yesterday afternoon, but it might have been the day before. A reservation came in just as you heard it just now. The party music plays. The staff clicked through to write it onto the calendar. And it was Koizumi-san who was here. And he turned around to me and he said, "Are you fooling around testing the calendar?" I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "Well, we just got a reservation from you. It looks like a test. Print reservation from David Bull." And I'm like, "No, I didn't touch it. What's going on? Somebody fooling around?" So he goes to the reservation email here, and there is reservation for today, print party at 2:30 from David Bull. And the email address is not my email address. So whatever, I replied to it in the way I normally do. "I thank you for the reservation. We are ready for you tomorrow afternoon at 2:30. And then I put, when the staff saw this, they were kind of puzzled. Just so I left it both ways. So he wrote back, "It is somebody called David Bull, and he's coming for a print party at 2:30 this afternoon." So that's going to be a bit surreal. Whatever. This young man did our very first ever print party here in Asakusa, this one. This person was here with his family. He was here with his wife and his mother-in-law. They were here actually a day before we opened. The idea in Asakusa, we were getting ready, we were going to open November 1st. And we had been a bit delayed. He was in Tokyo for his holidays. And he wrote to me and said, "Dave, look, we're leaving the morning of November 1st. I can't get over there. Is there any way we can come in for a print party?" So what we did a test run. We were opening November 1st. We did a test run on the afternoon of October 31st. There were still boxes all over the place upstairs. There was still crap everywhere. But we brought him and his wife and mother-in-law in and gave him a print party, first one. And since then he's been back twice. He's done it again and again. Nice family. They were also really kind to us. We asked them, can we use a photograph? We took some photos during that first print party. And we hadn't got our pamphlet printed yet at that time. So we asked them if we could use those photos for the pamphlet, and they agreed. And it was great. For the next couple of years, it was his mother-in-law's photo that was gracing our print party pamphlet. The stamps are fun, you know. We're using, again, commemorative postage stamps, as always, on these things. I'll get a good light here. What's this one about? Some kind of new train, a deer, and a pastiche of the Great Wave. They're not all the same. Just whatever's coming up. It's the luck of the draw, whatever's out there. What's this one? I can't really quite tell. It's not a question of 3 stamps being needed. It's, I think for overseas cards, it's 110 yen. So what she's done is she's put an 82 yen and a 20 and an 8. Yeah, it gives us 110 yen. So rather than just, the normal generic 110 yen stamp for overseas is a single, not so interesting image. So to make it more interesting for people, she's put on 3 commemorative stamps, which add up to the same thing. So it's more work to put them on, but it's much more fun. And for those of you who don't know, we do all our packages, all our subscription packages go out with some kind of commemorative stamps. And we've got people out there, probably some people on this stream, they've been collecting our subscription prints for a few years. Some have got a huge, beautiful Japanese stamp collection. You know, you get 3 stamps like this, you get a subscription print 12 times a year, that's 36 stamps. You do this for a few years, you have a very, very nice little collection of Japanese stamps. And the ladies put them on quite carefully, nicely and neatly. There's one for someone that could be on the stream this morning, I'm not quite sure. I'm down to the letter G's here at the moment. Well, I'm not trying to pull you in by putting stamps in, we're just trying to make it more interesting for people. This happened by mistake, you know. We used to just be using the standard Japanese just at the post office, stamp them, stamp them, stamp them. It was boring. Then one day at the post office, this is about 10, whatever, I don't know, 15 years ago, the little stamp thing, something had gone wrong with the little date clicker on it, and it was no good. So the girl apologized, I said, look, could we put stamps on it instead, postage stamps? And I said, yeah, whatever, do what you like. So the post office lady got stamps on and stuck them on the packages that month and sent them out. And I got a flood of mails, emails. Wow, thank you. These are so wonderful. These are great. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So we realized, soka, that's extra value. We can do this. So that's it. Since that time, 10 or 12 or whatever years ago it was, we've been using nothing but stamps. We don't do any of that thing anymore at all. Getting dry right there. That's for the 13th, no rush next Sunday. They're still pouring in. Parties, parties, parties. We're ending up being almost totally sold out now every day. And this is getting to be a real crisis because I don't have enough people to do this. And I myself am ending up being in the party room well over half the time now, and I can't get anything else done. I'm supposed to be test printing the Octopus. I'm supposed to be working on a couple of other things. And they're not happening because I'm in the parties. So it was supposed to be the quiet time of the year. It was. The Christmas New Year from 24th to about the 6th or 7th isn't quiet. It's always a peak. There's a 2-week peak right at the end of the year. Last week and the first week is always a peak. But then looking at our history for the past 4 years, starting around January 7th or 8th, depending on the calendar, it goes boom. And it stays down for 6 weeks until March. And then it starts climbing and then it explodes. But it's not happening. This year, it's not stopping. 1, 2, 3, 4 parties today. 1, 2, 3 parties tomorrow. It's just not stopping. Of course, it's difficult to find people to work here. We need, of course, at a minimum, they got to speak Japanese, got to speak good English. Step 1. Step 2, they've got to be a happy, cheerful person to work here. Step 3, they've got to be learnable about woodblock prints. The customers pick up a print in the shop and say, tell me about this. That's a big deal. Pick up a random woodblock print, shin, hanga, ukiyo-e, whatever, and the customers need to know what it's all about. So we have to talk and train, and our staff has to know these things. Then if they're going to help in the print party, they've got to be able to say, hello, hi, come in and speak to you, blah, blah, blah. The number of people that can do that is really, 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 really low. Plus, they have to be trainable as actual, quote, semi-quote, printers. It's not easy to find people that can do all this. Good, competent, capable people here in Japan, they're already working. There's nobody sitting around waiting for work except the ones who you don't really want to talk to those people. Anybody capable is busy. Busy, busy, busy. So in a tight labor market like that, the standard phrase, of course, is simply, okay, offer more money. That's easy to say, and I would happily pay well for the skills that we demanded here. The problem is I can't identify such people. I can't just put an ad up, hi, offering more money, please come and work for us, to a random ad, you know. We've got to find the people first. No, I can't sponsor foreigners. This is another part of the problem. I know this is not a company. We're not an actual company or corporation. This is a private business of mine. So I'm not in any legal position to do anything with sponsoring visas. Cameron's here on a work visa, but he got that through his previous company, and we were able to transfer it to Mocha Hong Kong. But there's no way I can get that sort of thing going by myself. I myself, I'm on a residence visa, and I can't sponsor somebody else down the line for another visa. And also, I'm really not too interested in hiring, not to be whatever. Foreigners are difficult. I need to train somebody, get them working here, and I would really like to have them stay here. Foreigners, they're here for a year, gone, here for 2 years, gone, here for 3 years, gone. There's not many people that are going to be here for 34 years like I am. And how do I identify such people? So I'm really not so excited about getting a foreigner, identifying, getting a visa, and getting over here and work, and then 6 months later their wife says, I don't want to live in Japan anymore, and they're gone. That's a huge risk for me. I know you mentioned YouTube videos for promotion here. This is part of the problem, in that my social media power is almost 99% exclusively in English. It's my fault. I should have been making more videos in Japanese. I should have been exposing our work more in Japanese. I should be talking about our work in Japanese. If I did that more, then absolutely we would have a better chance of finding people here. It's absolutely my own fault. I'm down to the H's here. held a message for reason identity. Allow will post it to chat. Clicking allow. Oops, what's that? Held for the reason the term is put Japanese. Is that a bad word? Put Japanese. Korinigami's poster, you can put Japanese subtitles. That was held for my approval for some reason. Put Japanese. What was that a phrase? Why was that held for approval? PUT, is that a bad word? What's it short for? Something else? PUT, put Japanese. Robots, who knows? I hope you guys are watching to make sure I don't leave one out, right? Too busy talking and watching the chat. Send 6 empty envelopes here. The show and tell stuff that I showed you yesterday, those little wood blocks, the little wood block we got. I did a test print from it and took a really high level scan of that. I was showing some of the staff yesterday. Kawai-san was here. He's working training as a printer with us. And Ishikawa-san upstairs printing. I showed that to them. And it was really fun watching their face. They both did something like their eyeballs go about that big and their mouth goes. It's so much fun doing this, you know. And they're both like, they were 50-50. They would like to try printing those blocks to see what they can do with it, but they were both afraid that I would ask them to print those blocks. So it's just eager to try it, but oh my God, it looks so difficult. So difficult. So they're the same feeling as me, you know. We would like to play with these things, but oh my God, is it really possible to print that stuff, you know? The microphone is next to it there. We had another funny one yesterday. Funny in terms of bringing a good smile. I'm doing a print party and running through and trying to go back and forth to get in the shop, and there was a couple with their daughter. The daughter looked like about college age girl or something like this. And they came to the edge of the print party room, looked inside, and then I sort of glanced at them. I couldn't do much to help them. I was busy with 4 people running the prints, and Kawai-san at the moment, or Koizumi-san was out in the shop or something. So I just nodded a greeting and turned back to what I was doing. And they stood there for a minute, then they came and looked at some prints, then they came back to the edge of the print party room again and looked inside. And I looked at them, and I'm sort of like, oh, I'm thinking, like, they're still there, what's going on, you know? So I explained, this is what we're doing what we call our print party, blah, blah, blah. And the girl says, yes, we know about this. And she sort of paused. And I realized that this young girl wants to talk to me, wants to say something. So I'm at the party room, just, okay, hang on, party people. And I said to her, can I help you something? And I forget her exact words, but the message she was delivering was, she said, you know, I'm just out of college, and I did a I forget what she said, a master's thesis or something. It was a thesis she had done, some level, PhD, master's, I have no idea what it was. She said, I did my thesis, and she paused. Her timing was really good on this. She said, I did my thesis about you. And it was so much fun. So I had to say, okay, look, I really want to talk about this, but I'm in the middle of a party. Can you give me 10 minutes to finish this, whatever? And she came into the party room and sat on the bench there watching what we were doing while we finished off the party. And it was great fun. It wasn't so much about me as she had done her thesis about the thing we're doing. You know, ukiyo-e being revived by using pop culture. You know, I guess she'd seen our Ukiyo-e Heroes prints, and she thought it was interesting and worthy of you know, writing about for her thesis. And her school must have said, okay, go for it. So she did. So we chatted for 10, 15 minutes after the party was over. It's great. She was from... oh my God, I've forgotten. I don't remember her name even. She was from Oregon, somewhere in the Northwestern America. And the colleges near Oregon and Portland, there's a big background of woodblock printmaking. So maybe the teachers and whatever knew about this and were willing to write with what she's doing. So I asked her, look, is there some way I can read this? It would be really fun for me to read this. And she says, really, are you interested? And I'm like, yeah, of course I'm interested. I like to read this. So she said she'll send me a link. Apparently it's online. The college has all these things, I don't know, online in your library or something. So she's going to send me a link. That would be good fun, really good fun to read this. But her timing was good. She just put, I did my thesis about you. It was good fun. I should look in my inbox and maybe she's actually sent it. If she sent that link, then I can pass it on. Let's have a look here. I didn't see anything in the box as of last night. No, nothing here. But if/when, whatever, she sends me the information, of course I'll pass it on. If it's permitted to be public, I guess. If it is a public link, then I presume it's Oh, part of the background to that, you know, the series we did, the Ukiyo-e Heroes series we did, the first group of them, I don't know how many, it might be the first 7 or 8 of them. I don't think it's the first 10. The first 7 or 8 of the prints in the Ukiyo-e Heroes series were picked up, and we've talked about this before, they were picked up by a major museum over in Europe. There's a museum in Hamburg, Germany. I forget the exact name, it's a museum or something, for Kunst und Gewerbe, arts and crafts. And it's one of these giant museums, like it's a city block in size. It's been there since the 1800s or something. And it's full of stuff collected from all over the world. And they have a huge, huge collection of Japanese stuff. Going right back to the early days here in when Japan opened, Europeans, of course, were taking stuff back. And those big collections in Chicago, Boston, all the major collections all over the world. And there's this collection in Germany. And that museum in Hamburg has a big Japanese ukiyo-e collection, and they thought it was worthwhile to buy our stuff and add it to their official ukiyo-e collection, which is a world-class collection. And they published they did an exhibition on it. It wasn't last autumn, it was 2 autumns ago. And our stuff was in their catalog. They gave us a whole chapter in their catalog. And it's full of German art speak, which, whatever, there's a translation of it in English. And the German art speak is all huge long words about ukiyo-e history and how Jed and Dave have recreated it and stuff like that. So there are people out there in the academic world who are looking at this stuff now. And that's a bit, I don't know, what's the word to use? It's kind of intimidating in a way. You know, when we made these prints, that first Mario Kart print, that rickshaw cart print we made, we just did it basically for fun. And is it going to fly? And are people going to buy these? And let's have fun doing it. And to see the things being collected from museums and being written about by art curators who talk about Jed and Dave's analysis and blah, 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 blah. Well, I think I've mentioned before, the funny part about that, we got that German catalog in the mail. I got it actually here. I didn't know about this. Jed had sold the Museum the Prince online and hadn't remembered to tell me about it. So I didn't know this was happening, but Jed did. And he arranged that when they got their catalog published, a copy would be sent to him and one to me. But I hadn't known about this. He'd simply forgot to mention it. So just in the mail one day, this is, the autumn, as I mentioned, this heavy book comes in the mail. I open it up, it's a catalog from a German museum about an art ukiyo exhibition. I'm thinking, what's this for me? And I flip through, and bang, there's our prints, and there's the discussion. But it turns out that I had got the catalog first, and Jed hadn't received his yet. So on Skype, I'm mentioning, Jed, look at this. What's this all about? What's this catalog? He says, you got it. And then he remembered that he hadn't told me about it. So he's like, read me. So we're reading some of this stuff in the catalog. I don't have a copy here in the shop. But it's so funny. I'm not funny in a bad way. It's really, really cool. They've discussed and looked at aspects of these prints that Jed and I have no idea exists. One example was, I forget the exact words, Jed Henry, the artist, has parodied the Fox McCloud by standing him on clouds to do his activity, whatever. So in other words, Fox McCloud, the original character in the game, and Jed has posed the Fox character standing on a cloud, whatever, they're in clouds in the sky. No, I'm Jed, I didn't, look at that, that's so cool, I hadn't realized you'd done that. It matches the guy's name. And Jed said something like, yeah. Like he hadn't thought about this. So these analysts, these curators are finding things in these prints, Fox McCloud is standing on a cloud, that we, whatever, hadn't thought about. So it's kind of, I'm supposed to be working here. It's kind of intimidating in a way. Is the collection in there? So how does it feel? It's really, really mixed feelings. Of course, I mean, my ego, my head's as big as anybody else. Wow, the stuff I made is in a major museum. It's really cool. It's a plus. It's a major thing. I'm very happy to have it do that. The other downside, though, and there is a downside, is that we're sitting here working on our next print, and now there's a different mood, a different feeling. Now we're thinking, oh my God, am I doing museum class work? This is going to be looked at for hundreds of years. That becomes more of a thing that sits in your face, and that is not a good idea. It's not a good thing to happen. I think I'm not going to compare myself. To take a super example, the super class artists of the past, Michelangelo or whatever, he made his stuff. I don't think he had any idea that X hundred years later, he would be an iconic human being who everybody on this planet would know, and we would recognize this guy as a genius. I'm not putting myself in the class, I'm using this as an example. I don't think Michelangelo knew that. I think he was just a workman, a craftsman. He knew he was good at what he was doing. He knew he was popular in his day, and that presumably fed his ego and helped him feel good about what he was doing. But if he could have imagined that the entire planet would know who he was and would revere him as a master, would he have been able to sit there and do it, or would he have been too self-conscious? Again, I'm not comparing myself at that level, but the same point holds. The fact that we know this stuff is going to go in museum collections, so we try not to think about it too much. And if I was a real perfect person, I wouldn't even talk about this. I would erase it from my mind and not think about it. But of course, I can't do that. So. I'm not getting through this very quickly. This is not good. Someone's asking single prints. We have both. We have lots of single prints available. If you go to Ukiyo-e Heroes, all one word, ukioheroes.com, there's lots of single prints available, and also in mokohankan.com, my website here. And we have both. We have single prints, and we have collections that are sold as a one-year collection. If you're looking at the part of the website that is mokohankan.com/subscriptions, then those prints are only in sets of 12, 10 or 12. And I am not getting through this very well. I think it's okay. You know, these things are going to be going out one by one, slowly. Not one by one, but groups of a few dozen at a time over the next couple of weeks. It would have been really nice to have had all this done in December so that people would get these at the new year, but it's just not possible for us. So I think people are okay when they get these, even if they're late. I think they're okay. And remember, the prints last for 200 years. The fact that they arrived 2 weeks late, I think is not so critical. It's okay. In the scale of what's important and what's not important. Has Japan Journey hit 200? I don't think so. I know it was, what, 174 yesterday. And I haven't looked at the mail. I've looked at the mailbox, but I haven't opened any mail. What's today? Today's Sunday. So from Saturday last night. I saw that one Saturday afternoon. Okay, here we are. What is it? Okay. Last night, 10:30 at night. Oh, Chibi Heroes, full set. Another one. Japan Journey, one more. And a Surimon album. That's from Cincinnati. Another one here, Japan Journey. Oh, from Japan. Soka Soka, a regular American family living here in Japan. There's two more overnight. So we're at 176 right now. So no, we're not at 200 yet. What am I doing? There's also, what was that? I saw a couple of orders there. Just a minute. What was this one? Oh, very nice. Very nice. The Yoshida print, Dancing Cranes. Do you know the one? Dance of Eternal Love. It's one of Toshi Yoshida's final woodblock prints. It's perhaps, I don't know if it's his best known print. That would be the African stuff, but it's really, really nice one. It's a bit expensive. It's over $400. It's a large wall-size print. It's two dancing cranes. It's really, really attractive to many people. We keep it here in the shop. We always keep at least a couple of copies in the shop, and one of them was just going to fly away today. what's the name? Dance of Eternal Life. It might sell better for the title than for the image. Both are nice. We're going to be coming into a bit of a crisis situation on the Yoshida prints over the next year or couple of years. I know there's two famous printmakers, woodblock printmakers in the Yoshida family. Hiroshi Yoshida, who died somewhere around the time I was born, and then his son Toshi Yoshida, who died in 1995 or 1996, 1995 maybe. And we have in the shop here, we have no Hiroshi Yoshida prints in the shop. The family doesn't allow those to be reprinted. The blocks are in storage. I think they're over in Atami in the family house there. The blocks are in storage and the family does not allow them to be reprinted. But Toshi's blocks are in the Yoshida house here in Setagaya-ku in Tokyo, and they're controlled by his son Tsukasa-san, who is about my age. He's maybe a year or two older than me. I'm 67, so he must be 68 or 69. And Tsukasa-san controls the blocks. And for the past 10, 15, 20 years since his father died, he has been allowing them to be reprinted and being reissued. And there's been two printers who have done that. The first was Komatsu-san, Komatsu Heihachi, who's been a Yoshida family printer since the Hiroshi era. He was Toshi's main printer all through Toshi's entire working life. And then only retired sometime after Toshi died. And Komatsu-san trained Numabe Shinkichi, who is a printer who works quite a lot for us, not so much this last couple of years, but he did a bunch of our Ukiyo Heroes printing in the first couple of years. He did a lot for us. And Numabe-san has become the Yoshida family's in-house printer. And they don't allow, the Yoshida family doesn't allow the blocks to leave the building. So anybody printing the Yoshida blocks has to go to the Yoshida studio into the ground floor workshop there and do the printing in the building right there. And Tsukasa-san takes the prints and then checks them and sends them out. And the problem being is that for the past few years, they haven't been training any other printer there. It's been Numabe-san, powerful guy. He's exactly my age. I think he's 2, 3, 4 weeks older than me. He's a powerful guy, powerful printer, and he's been churning out the Yoshida prints now for a few years now. And he's had enough time on top of that job to also work for Shobisha here. He's been doing some Hasui reprints as well, which we have in our shop. Long story short, Numabe-san now, he's been printing in a standing up format for a number of years, and he's got a crick in his elbow and he's got a pain in his shoulder, and he's now coming to the end. He's having real trouble with his body and he's not able to work a full schedule anymore. He's the only person in town capable of printing those Yoshida blocks. There's other ukiyo-e type printers in town. There's next to nobody with the vast experience to print Yoshida prints. They're 40, 50, 60 color overlays. Numabe-san has been trained in it since he was a little boy. He knows how to do it. He's coming to the end of his working life and there ain't nobody else ready to step in to do it. And we're really worried about this because the Yoshida prints make up a huge portion. I can tell you the number exactly, actually. Find last year's spreadsheet here, 2018 spreadsheet. Let me find it. Online sales. The Yoshida prints are 10% of our online sales last year, and they are 12% of our Asakusa sales last year. And if that little tap is turned off suddenly, then there we are. We are going to lose that much of a percent of our sales. The obvious solution is for us to step in, for us to work with Numabe-san and take over. As Numabe-san leaves, one of our printers could come in and do it. I don't have any. It would have been, Ayumi-san would have been perfect for that job. She decided to have a baby and that was that. Kanai-san could have done it. She decided to have a baby and that was that. So I don't know. If we had printers, if two powerhouse professional printers walked in the door right now, I could keep them both fully busy right now from today. 2 full professional printers. But they don't exist. They don't exist. The business has been hollowed out so much because all the past 10, 20, 30, 40 years, the printmaking business has been in decay. There's been no work for apprentices and it just totally hollowed out. And now we're at the stage where all the guys at the top are leaving and there's nobody at the bottom to take their place. And I should be training more beginners starting right now today is what I should be doing. just hire a bunch of people who seem interested. 4 out of 5 are going to be lose interest. 9 out of 10 are going to be no good. But if I start a whole bunch of new people, then we will have spam. That's what I really should be doing. I shouldn't be addressing envelopes. I shouldn't be doing streams. I shouldn't be doing print parties. I should be working every day with a bunch of young people who would like to become printers. But I'm in such chaos here. I'm not doing that. But that's the number one existential crisis for our business. Train new printers, and we're not doing it well. I'm just firefighting every day, trying to keep going with the stuff that's going. So I don't know. Yeah, I said shouldn't be streaming. You know what I mean. The point being just I'm trying to do all the other daily stuff that really is an important part of our business, but that one, which is the most important part of our business, is getting ignored. Another one. This is also for today. It says the 6th. Another one from the Japanese website. For the Tuesday, it's the last person. The last person has filled in the Tuesday. We're done now. 5 at 10 o'clock. 4 at 1 o'clock. 4 at 2:30. And I haven't opened the 4 o'clock session. I can't. I just don't dare open it. Because if I open it, somebody will jump in. Maeda Akiko. From Canada. Soka. On the Japanese website. This is the way it goes. You heard during the stream. What's that? Three reservations so far during the past hour. This is how it's going. Things will fall into place. I'm sorry, I disagree. I know I appreciate your optimism about this and I appreciate your support on this, but things don't fall into place. Things don't fall into place. Things have to be built and designed and constructed. Absolutely. Nothing just falls into place. It has to be created. These people outside this shutter there, they're trying to get in. What time is it? Not even 9 o'clock yet, it's okay. Well, the business is still young, of course. It's very, very, very young. You know, I mean, I've been at this here now. I sold my first print here in Japan in Heisei Gannen. 1989 was when I sold my first print here. And it's basically a quarter-century career as a private printmaker. So I worked for 25 years or so privately doing it. But then the Mokuhankan part, the publishing part of it, it's of course an extremely young business. I think I registered the domain name about 10 years ago. I think it was 2006 or 2007. I registered the domain, had the kind of idea that we could build something for the future. So we're 10 years from seed. If that chart, we showed the chart the other day, if that's still here, I don't know the graph. So there we are. The green, the first green parts, 2006, 2007, was the tiny seed of Mokuhankan. The blue part on the left is me, my personal printmaking, which is now gone pretty much. The green starting in 2006-07 is the Mokuhankan seed. The red in 2012 was where Jed came along And that's, of course, you can see, it totally transformed our lives. The red is Ukiyo Heroes, the yellow is a subscription prints from Jed, and the purple is Asakusa. So, you know, Jed, I started it in Mokuhankan in 2006, but it just dribbled along, just limped, until Jed came along. So Jed's the one who's responsible for this thing that's happening here. Yeah. Well, again, we set it in motion, but it's mixed feelings. So I get what you're trying to say. So I'm not hostile to your idea. We set it in motion. But nothing will just run automatically. It has to be guided and steered and guided and nurtured and built. I mean, even now, in the middle of all the chaos that's going on here, I'm really trying to think about what the next leg of our thing should be. We've got online sales of single prints. We've got subscriptions. We've got Ukiyo Heroes. We have a nice shop. We need a more stable business, and we need to be in the tool business, clearly, and it's a gigantic thing to take on. We've talked about the snacks, the area where we're here in Japan. Having the Baron cookies would be a stupendously important part of our business. It sounds trivial to you, but it could be huge for us. We should be more in publishing. We should be publishing more books, videos, DVDs, or whatever, about how to make prints. That's a huge market, and we're totally ignoring it. There's any number of things we should be doing that would help broaden our business, and that would make it more stable as it moves forward to the future. And very few of those things are being done because we're firefighting so much, you know. So if I had said to Jed, sorry, not interested, I did. I turned him down. I said no to Jed back in 2012. This is the thing. I said no. I'm not the genius that's built this place. It's happened a little bit in spite of me. I said no when Jed came along. I forget the history. I'd have to go back in the emails to look and see exactly what happened back and forth. It was at least a month or so of Jed repeatedly pushing me and cajoling me and trying to get me to get interested. And I just said no. He had to stuff it down my throat. The thing that pushed me over finally, this is insane. What had finally pushed me over to say yes to Jed was I opened my newspaper one morning. I'm eating my granola, and I nearly died. I had a mouthful of granola, drinking my coffee, whatever, turned the page, and there was a story in my local newspaper, the Japan Times, about Jed Henry's Ukiyo Heroes woodblock print concept. This is before I came on board. I had been saying no to Jed, no. And he had started doing PR. He did it on wherever he did it, Facebook or Instagram or something. He started pushing, and he got stories all around the world. And the Japan Times, my local newspaper, picked it up. And I sat there choking, gagging on spitting my granola into the newspaper. Look and that made me realize how big this was, what kind of interest there was in this thing, because I didn't get it. So anybody that thinks that I'm the hero here who saved the world of woodblock printmaking, no. It's Jed Henry's concept that did this. Of course, now we're working together. Of course, I bring something to the table. Of course, I'm a part of it. But there can't be any misunderstanding about this. I didn't do this thing. I didn't create this. Jed did it, and he shoved it down my throat. Did I write the person's name on this? Yes, I did. It's hers, Alex. This is the lady who runs McLean's toolmaking supply, selling Japanese tools all over the world. And did I just say I should be in the tool business? But I'm not, so. It wasn't a chance article. Jed had been pushing and PR and trying to spread it around. He didn't write to the Japan Times. He had just been showing it at conventions and doing what he could do and sending to his mailing list and whatever it was he was doing. And it had started to go viral. And this was the point. The thing itself, the idea was so interesting, it went semi-viral. So that's when I came on board. I got back to him that morning and said, okay, Jed, look at this. I know I've realized that there's something here that, I didn't get. Up to that point, I had been trying to get him quotes on trying to find a carver or trying to find a printer or stuff like that. So at that point, after reading that article, I said to Jed, okay, look, maybe I know I should be involved here. Let's work this out. And I gave him the quote of what we'd be able to do in our workshop. It was a bit too much money. We decided, let's do this on Kickstarter. And here we are in 2019, 7 years later. What am I doing? Come on, Dave, keep writing, keep writing. This lady, no, the lady on the last one, Alex Prentice, the lady who runs McLean's, she was actually here a couple of months ago. I had never met her, so I didn't know, know her appearance. I've of course been dealing with her for years and years and years and years and years. She's also helped us a lot on our book, our CD book is in her catalog, and she sells hundreds and hundreds of copies. She's probably the single biggest seller of that book, except our own website. So I've known her in correspondence for years and years and years. And she came, and I didn't know. I was just here on the counter. I was doing something. People all over the place. Two ladies are over there doing stuff. They look at prints. They look at prints. They do this. They do this. Talk for an hour or so, whatever, without saying who she was. Then she came to the counter and said, "I'm Alex Prentice." Why didn't you tell me? Get a cup of coffee, sit down, whatever. She said, "No, I got to go." So she was here for an hour or something, and then had to leave in a few minutes without. Some people are too shy, Some people are too shy. I didn't want to bother you. Didn't want to bother me. She's been helping my business for 10 years and didn't want to bother me. Oh. Yeah, the addresses could, I guess, be printed on the envelope. It would take more time for our ladies out there instead of just running it automatically. Bang, 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 bang. They got to feed the things. I don't think it's a big time saver. The other thing, by having the labels printed on sheets like this, we can adjust them. There's X marks. We've got things like this. People are on 2 lists, so we can quickly peruse the lists and X and change and do things like that. If the labels had been printed directly onto envelopes, I'd be sitting here staggering with a pile of 7,000 envelopes all going through and trying to keep them in order. So I think it's more practical for me to do them on sheets like this and just stick them on. If I was writing it by hand, that's a different story, but I think having them on label sheets here is not a deal killer. The convenience of being able to look at them and play with them and move around and pick and choose helps me more than any benefit, I think, from the last motion of sticking them on here. I think, anyway. Sticking the label on the envelope is not my biggest bottleneck here. And I'm not going to be the only one doing this. I'm doing it here over the next few days. If the print parties settle down, then the staff in the shop here, because there's not going to be too many tourists walking through in January. The shop and the staff over the next week or so will be doing this. It won't be me doing all this, as it was supposed to happen last week, but that part of it's not a big deal, I think. And carve the addresses. Yeah, Ken, go back to bed. Is that the fourth one since the stream started? Is that one for today? I didn't catch as it went by. No, it's for the 10th. The fourth reservation since the stream started. And those of you who heard me streaming like a year ago or so, year and a half, before Cameron came, you knew that orders and stuff coming into our computer, my own computer, all the orders used to come in, and I used to play music and stuff. We gave that up. Cameron's got him on his computer, but he said he just can't work with all that music playing. So I'm not even looking at the orders. If I go and look inside, he's off. It's Sunday today. He's off. So I'm riding herd on his mailbox to try and catch stuff that needs instant answers. But I'm not looking at it. That order, for example, for the crane print, it should get an instant answer, but I can't do it. So he'll pick it up tomorrow when he gets here. You gotta give me a break. 145 people watching me do this. What? What kind of insane world are you? Is the entertainment that's available to you that bad? All the world's internet, all the world's TV, all the things you could be listening to and watching. Is it all that boring that you're over here watching me stick envelopes together? I don't understand the world. I really, really don't understand the world, obviously. Whatever. I know what's happening. You're really at work. You're doing your own stuff, and this is just in one corner of your screen. I know. But whatever. Hopefully he's back to the carving bench soon, and there is a new carving project coming up. And the octopus is carved, but there is a new carving project coming up soon. It's got to wait. I've got the project all ready. I've got the hunch ready. It's got to wait till I get back to Ome one more day. That might be next week or 2 weeks from now, because there's a certain piece of wood sitting in the Ome workshop that I'll be using for this project. So as soon as I get a chance to get back to Ome, pick up a piece of wood and bring it back here, there will be a new project starting. And it's, you know, it's come out from those blocks we got last week. Remember the small postcard size series blocks I showed you? I think we showed them on the stream yesterday. If it was yesterday, I can't remember. It gave me an idea for something, and we have the resources to try this and start this. The print from Making Mukuchi, no, I'm sorry. I know the blocks are done. You know, I did the blocks for it. I made a 200 or so copies of that print. And the blocks are in beautiful, beautiful condition. They're just basically just warmed up. There should be many copies of that print being made and been available. I can't do it because none of our printers here on staff, none of them are ready for that print, ready for that work. It is an extremely difficult print. I did it myself when I was basically at the peak of what I was doing. That was back in 2004 or 5 or so. And none of the people working here are capable of printing that. So at the moment, those blocks are simply sleeping. And at some point, if Mokuhankan survives, if it grows a bit bigger, if we get a stable of better printers, if our printers get to a different level, those blocks will come back out. We'll be printing them. But print will be available again in our shop. But at the moment, I'm sorry, those blocks are simply sleeping and resting and waiting. There's dozens, hundreds of block sets in my Ome workshop, sleeping and resting and waiting. Spell her name wrong. Here we go. The display boxes, I don't know because it's still over the New Year holiday. The update on the display boxes was that before we went off for the holiday, during the middle of December when we were talking about the ordering, that's when we got the bad news that one of their main craftsmen was hospitalized. I haven't, you know, they told us at that time that we can do the job for you, but it won't be ready at the first week in January, as was the schedule. So they've told us they can do it, but it will be delayed. I haven't bugged them, phoning them all the time. They had simply told us the boxes will be ready perhaps earliest in late January, possibly. They told us to expect it in the middle of February, although they could come earlier. So we haven't promised delivery in January. But I haven't been in contact with them. We're just waiting for them to get a hold of us. So if we do get an update, we will of course instantly update everybody down the chain. All I can do is repeat what they told us, that they will be able to do the boxes, but not on the original schedule of having them ready by the first week of January. Streaming the store, you know, there's a privacy issue here, you know. This is, it's not a public space. It's not a street, you know. People come into a shop not with the expectation that their face is going to be broadcast all over the world. We've streamed a few print parties. We did one last week, and we do that by asking the people in advance if it's okay with them. And that last print party, the one we did on December 31st, nearly didn't happen as a stream. One couple said, okay, no problem. The other couple, the lady said, I don't know about this. I don't think I want this to happen. And her partner sort of convinced her and talked to her. And I told him, no pressure. If she doesn't want to do it, we don't do this. Don't worry about this. But she had been a little leery about this. So there's no way we can have an open camera streaming the shop and streaming the party room. There's obvious privacy issues. There's a camera down the street that focuses on Sensoji Temple, and it's up on the roof of a building showing the temple. There's no privacy issue there because the people are little dots walking around the street. But I don't think we could do it here. There's conversations going on. There's people's faces. There's no way we can do that. Put a sign up on the front of the door, warning, you come in the shop, you're going to be broadcast on the internet. I don't think anybody wants that. Maybe that's the future for the world, I don't know, but I'm not about to be a pioneer for that. You got the sense switching. Is it live right now, John? I'm not sure. I'm staying on the same page too long. I've got to rotate here. We're down to the W's this first time through. Sensoji will be very busy today. It's the last day of what is basically the New Year holiday / break. The calendar was really strange this year. The New Year's, normally it's 3 days. Companies close for 3 days on the New Year, 1st, 2nd, 3rd. But this time around, that meant Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So what many companies did, factories, people that have production lines, all that kind of stuff. What are you going to do? You're closed for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The first you're open, Monday you're open, then 2nd, 3rd, and 4th you're off. It just didn't work. So people closed the Monday and the Friday. So general workers, general factory type workers here in Japan, for the most part this year, got a staggeringly long holiday. It was Friday, Saturday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, then the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, then the Friday, then the Saturday, Sunday. And today's the last day of that. So it's the last day of what has been a very, very, very unusual holiday this year. There's Kawai-san coming in. So Asakusa is going to be busy today. It's the last day of that long holiday, and tomorrow everybody is back to work. And I think schools start on the Tuesday, I think. Then the Golden Week you mentioned, it's going to be staggeringly long this year as well. It's going to be insane. The productivity of this country is dropping like crazy this year. Holidays mean nothing to us. We're in the tourist business. It's a holiday means nothing to us. Every day is a holiday for Dave. I don't know what the word means. We're having fun. Of course we're having fun. Okay, we're down to the W's. There's my daughter. She's watching sometimes, not live. She says she watches when the baby's having a nap. So she puts the stream on to help the baby go to sleep. The Kawai-san's here. It's at that time already, 9:20. I've been doing this for over an hour. So we've got about 10 minutes left. Kawai-san's going to come in a minute. We got to start firing up the shop. We have a print party at 10 o'clock for 5 people, so no fooling around. Tough print party. So I just got a few more minutes of this. Sean Becker back in town? Is he over at Hoselmon again? Kwai-san, good morning. We're streaming here, we're live.
結構タイルがすごい汚れてますね。
そうだから今日会長さんに話して多分1月掃除の日がないです。次の掃除の日は2月です。で今日考えられないんですが火曜日定休日火曜日僕ちょっと考えて、自分がやるかな。今週多め行くかこの整理かどっちか分からないですね。So Kawai-san is talking the sidewalk outside. The street here normally is in beautiful condition. Once a month the merchants all get together and we scrub the street. But right now it's insanely filthy dirty because the Kakigoya next door. So they've been piling their garbage. So it's filthy out there, and it's all because of those guys next door. And even it's so bad that this is a typically a young Japanese boy, 37 years old. Garbage, who cares? He doesn't think about stuff, but he even noticed how dirty it is on the street outside. And when a boy like that notices, you know it's dirty. So he was asking me, what are we going to do about it? Nothing I can do about it today. Hot dog stands farther down. I didn't even know what they've done. It's so much trouble. I don't want to talk about it. What they've done over the past few days. They got theater. What do you call those things where people stand in line in theater lineups? They blocked off the entire sidewalk and park. I don't want to talk about it. I think what we should do, the con is glowing. It's because the light bulb fell down into the bottom of the lantern. The light bulb's supposed to be in the middle. And a couple of days ago it fell down onto the bottom and I haven't fixed it yet. So the light bulb should be in the middle. Okay, we've come to the bottom of our stack. I'm at the W's and Z's there. We've come once through the stack. Time to go back up the top, start again. But it's 9:25. There's no point. We're here. We're done. I've got to get ready for the print party. Okay, this has not been a whole really lot of interest for you. I'm sorry. It's work that I've had to do. It's not going to be just me that chews through all 600 of these things. The staff is going to be helping as soon as the print parties settle down a little bit. Those of you who are regular supporters of our work or who are subscribers who are sort of expecting to get one of these, please hang in because they're just going to go one by one, bit by bit as we can get them out. I'm sorry for the delay here. What's going to be going on tomorrow? Today is Sunday, so I have to stream once more this week. Tuesday, the day off, as you heard me talking to Kawai-san, I might be going to Ome to talk to the staff there and to do some other background work. Or I could be here doing cleaning work, I'm not sure. There'll be no stream Tuesday for sure. Tomorrow, I really don't know what I'll be doing. I don't know. There is still some printing work. I'm supposed to be doing some Patreon chibis left over that people are waiting for. I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't know. I'll be here something tomorrow morning. It won't be this again. I won't do this to you. It won't be this again, but it'll be something. See you tomorrow morning. Same time, same place, same station. Right now, I've got to get going with another day. Thanks for watching. Even this boring stuff. Bye-bye. See you tomorrow. Let's put up that picture from yesterday. There we go. For those of you who didn't catch it yesterday, I did get new water in my flask. This is taken about 6:30 in the morning over at Sensoji. They've got their New Year's decorations still up. And I grabbed a little old lady who was standing nearby me to try and get a quick photograph. The flask has new, fresh water for the year. See you tomorrow, gang. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.